for being here. It's not often that you get arguably the two most important people in the city together, so thank you both. Today we're here to talk about what happens when we invest in our young people and in their well-being, their potential, and their future. So the City of Albuquerque's school-based violence intervention program, which is housed under Albuquerque Community Safety, is expanding to these 7 additional schools. The programming brings on-campus mentorship, support, and connections to critical resources to even more students across the city. At the heart, the program is about making sure the students have trusted adults, meaningful support, and opportunity to thrive. It's about meeting young people where they are, helping them navigate challenges and systems, and helping make sure they have people in their corner to move toward their goals. With the expansion, SBVIP will now serve at 11 schools across Albuquerque, including 4 additional high schools and 3 middle schools. It's an important step in our continued work to strengthen connections, support students' success, and build safer and stronger communities. We're grateful to our partners over at Albuquerque Public Schools and to the ACS SBVIP intervention specialists and community partners who work alongside students and their families. And with that, we had a vision a few years ago of having this at as many schools as possible. I'd like to welcome Mayor Tim Keller to share some words.
Thanks. All right. So when 13 walks in, let's all clap. All right. So this is a very special announcement in a sense that this program, first off, wonderfully conceived with APS and the challenges that we all face in our city together, right? So we know that fundamentally, like, our city is made up of families that live here and they go to school. And at the end of the day, we know there are challenges that those families face. And those challenges sometimes can lead to, especially teens, going down a path that has all sorts of problems associated with it. It could just be challenges with grades. It could be challenges with actually social interactions, but it can also lead to violence, unfortunately. And we know teen violence has been a challenge for our city for many years, but also it's particularly challenging in the last few years coming out of COVID. Now, wonderfully, 2 things really came together to start this program. One was an amazing school district that is willing to try different programs to help our kids. That's number 1. But number 2 was this idea of violence intervention. And that is an old concept that goes back to the ceasefire movement in the 90s. And without going into too much detail, had to do with like gangs and things like this. And it was Albuquerque who tried to implement violence intervention programs through APD and through our criminal justice system, just like other cities have. So we're one of 29 cities who does violence intervention work. But what we realized is that the most important, the most powerful intervention is actually earlier on in a child's development, from middle school to high school. And so we brought those 2 ideas together and created the student-based violence intervention programs at APS. It's been in 4 schools to date and has incredible results that we've seen. 100% of the students who are in it graduated last year. And we've also seen cut in half of any sort of associated criminal activity with students who are engaged in the program. That, by the way, makes it one of the most successful programs we know of, certainly in the state of New Mexico or in the country, in terms of addressing teen violence. But the way it works is very fascinating. It's a combination of mentorship from folks who've been in the incarceration system and who literally were violent teens. And so there's mentorship there. And then there's also support for the drivers of why the violence occurs in the first place, which often is things like poverty, or it's mental illness, things of this nature, or it's addiction issues in the household or safety issues in the household. And so we're able to address all of those in a private, confidential setting, but also in a setting that is part of the school system because the kids, we want them to stay in school. So without going into it too much more, this is a very innovative program. It's one of the only of its kind in the country, and it has incredible results. That's why expanding it is so powerful for our city and our kids and our school district. And so today we're really just announcing that we're expanding to 7 additional schools. And so in total, if I have the numbers right, actually we're going to be in 11 schools in APS. And it's just part of the fabric of making our community stronger and holding us together during tough times. So thank you so much, Superintendent, for making this happen. And of course, to all the principals, we work a lot with them in the particular schools where this is. And then our own Community Safety Department. This is run through that office, which of course has trained social workers and folks with lived experience to make sure that we're doing what we can to help our teens. So with that, I'm going to hand it on down the line here to our APS Superintendent, Gabriella Duran Blake. Everyone always messes that up. I'm going to get it right. Blakey.
Thank you, and thank you, Mayor, for the partnership in this program. We do a lot of work in our schools every day that our staff is doing tireless work working with our students. And sometimes it's really important to make sure that all of our students have somebody that they really can connect to and a sense of belonging. And we talk a lot about that in our schools. And this partnership really allows our students to identify some mentors that can be really helpful for them along their paths. Some of our students really struggle with having an adult that they can connect to, and they feel isolated. And so we continue to look for ways we can partner with the community on how we can provide mentors for our students along the way, particularly in middle school and high school, where we know that students really they'll find a mentor one way or the other, and we want to make sure that those are positive influences on them as they find their path in their future. And so this partnership that we have developed with the city is really critical in how we are able to identify some of our students in our schools that are feeling a little bit lost. They're looking for some maybe unsafe behaviors along the way, and they just need an adult who cares for them, that can take them under their wing, kind of look at options of ways that they see things outside of the classroom, and that really encourages them to do the work in the school and in their classroom. So our staff is really thankful to this partnership because it really helps to embrace this idea that as a community we come together to embrace our youth, and we really need mentors, and this partnership with the city has really helped us in identifying mentors along the way. So we thank you for your partnership, and we look forward to our youth that are able to participate in this program and really have good experiences in their future. So thank you for all that you're doing for our kids.
Thank you so much, Superintendent Blakey. Next up, Director of Albuquerque Community Safety, Jody Esquivel. Come on, Jody.
I like that.
Name the department after you.
Yes, that sounds. Mayor and I will talk soon. Good morning, everybody. My name is Jody Esquivel. I'm the Director of Albuquerque Community Safety. To begin, I would just like to reiterate the thanks of a partnership and what that really looks like. I think important to note that the communication with APS and collaboration, like really true collaboration for our community, is really thriving right now with APS of the City of Albuquerque and especially the Community Safety Department. So just a pause for us really coming together and working for our community in that way is so powerful. I was an APS graduate myself and thankful to see these beautiful programs for our kids in this community. So thank you for the vision and the partnership. SBVIP was developed to reach youth in schools to address violence before it happens. So we talk about what are we doing for our youth? What are we doing for the violence? What are we doing? And I think this is an important moment to just acknowledge prevention and trying to understand. And we have indicators. We have we have kids that are on radars of folks, and this is a space where we're really wrapping the services around to understand what's going on at home at a more intimate, deeper level to prevent further violence, to prevent that path of the unknown mentor that they're going to find no matter what. And so if we can intervene in these times, then it's been so beneficial, mentioning how much success our program has had thus far. Just pausing for a general growth of ACS. This is an essential part of the public safety system here in the city of Albuquerque. And as we have grown exponentially, we're going on our 5th birthday next month. So really amazing, and I think a pause for just our general growth overall, responding to 3,000 to 4,000 calls a month from our 911 system in behavioral health crisis, and understanding that that support wraps around to our families and our students, and this is not a 9-to-5 support system. We understand that things happen outside of regular hours, and that's the beautiful part of the evolution of public safety. This is public safety for the city of Albuquerque. This is general safety for our families, our kids, and a better community support in a different way than we've seen before. And so just a pause for ACS growth overall, as we will send out invites to everybody for our birthday celebration next month, mentioning that we've responded to 170,000 calls for service. That's really an amazing feat to talk about a right response at the right time for the city of Albuquerque. VIP is part of that expansion. As we expand our field teams, we expand our street outreach teams, our MCT teams. We are talking and thinking of this abundance of ACS right now because we have found success. And I think it's okay to celebrate something that we've seen work in multiple ways. Multiple levels of ACS has just continuing to grow, and thankful to see that expansion for our youth. And housed under our Trauma Recovery Center, which is also another expansion. I feel like I'm repeating this expansion of ACS, this abundance of ACS, but this is real, this is powerful, the numbers are speaking, and we're really excited that it's reaching down into the roots of our city, which is our youth. So when we invest in these programs and partnerships, we reach the youth, the families, at a time of need. We build trust and we strengthen the entire ecosystem of public safety for the city of Albuquerque. And this is just one of those initiatives to show that strengthening. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for the partnership, and excited to keep expanding, and excited about the community department, Escabel, whatever you called it. Sounds great.
Thank you, Jody. Next up, I'd like to call up Dr. Jasmine Desiderio, who oversees our violence intervention program as Deputy Director. Jasmine.
Thank you so much. So I actually want to dive a little bit deeper in the abundance and what we have done with the growth of our Violence Intervention Program division of ACS. To date, we have over 200 students who are enrolled in our program for our school-based violence intervention program. This past year, we expanded into Del Norte, which has seen great success with over 16.4% of those students who are participating in our program with an increase in their GPA. This past summer, we had 13 graduates for the class of 2026, which is amazing. Each of those graduates have enrolled at UNM, NMSU, a trade school, or have joined the workforce. We're super excited about what this expansion means for us and what we're able to do for the youth and their families. And I'd just like to name off the schools that we're going to be expanding into. We're going to go into Albuquerque High, Cibola High, Manzano High School, Kennedy Middle School, John Adams Middle School, Truman Middle School, and Wilson Middle School. I think we've really honed in on the fact that we want to start early and start identifying some of the students who have been identified as at risk of engaging in violence, and try to meet and offer them comprehensive intervention supports early. So I want to thank the Albuquerque Public Schools for that opportunity. So we're able to provide the mentorship, case management, services for the families, connecting them to educational resources as well as resource navigation. This is truly important because when we invest in mentorship as well as healing, we break the cycles of violence and start addressing root causes of trauma. And this leads to new opportunities. So we want to give thanks to Albuquerque Public Schools as well as our community partners to be vested and committed to what we do for our youth, as well as strengthening families and the community as a whole. So thank you.
Good job, everyone. 13, way to go.
All right, awesome. Any questions from the media?
Yeah, aside from the mentorship program, you guys said that there's other factors that lead to violence that you're addressing. Can you describe some of those services that you're providing?
Can you hit on that, Jasmine?
Great, thank you for that question. Under the Violence Intervention Program Division of ACS, we have 6 different specialty teams. These specialty teams focus on different areas of root causes. So we have teams that focus on addiction or active addiction. We have those who go and are bedside to patients in the hospitals, our hospital-based violence intervention program. We also have our CORA, Community-Oriented Response and Assistance Team. They respond on scene to calls dispatched by police officers to situations like sexual assault, human trafficking, rape, domestic violence. We're truly trying to understand what that looks like and continue offering the support even after the incident had occurred so that that long-term case management has an impact on what is identified as the root cause.
Because I think maybe your question was a little bit more specific to the program as opposed to the department. Let's take so each child is in a different situation, and lots of times these children have pressures at home that are in many ways driving that violence. So for example, they may live in an apartment complex that is rife with drugs and gangs, and they may be having their parents might be having financial challenges. We will actually work with the family, and that's what the case management is, to actually find maybe a housing voucher for a different location to stabilize the family. So that's, I think, a really specific example. Sometimes we even do job placement for the parents because of that, to relieve that income stress. And sometimes the children, technically they're children, sometimes they are actually living by themselves. They're technically homeless. They're couch surfing, and that's where we work with, or they're living with like maybe an aunt or an uncle because home. So we'll also try and stabilize them as an individual. So those are just 2 examples of the kind of casework that they do.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I have another.
No, go ahead.
I got
Yeah.
another question.
Oh, yeah.
How prevalent is finding guns on campus? We are doing a follow-up story to an arrest that was made at CNM. I know this is outside the school district here, but what are the statistics on that? Is that an alarm for the city right now?
So for our department specifically, we focus on the empowering of the youth, no matter what their situation is. Dependent on, the mayor hit on some of the things. For me, I mean, Jody and I talk about this all the time, where like these programs would have benefited people like us. For her, it was mixed martial arts that saved her life. For me, it was the gifted program. Otherwise, I'd be lost. Like for something like this to have existed when I was a kid, it just unbelievable. Like it was. Just personal anecdote here. I mean, just thinking back to where I was at in my age, it's just really hard to really gauge and determine where the kid is, right? For me, it was not having parents at home for hours and hours and having all of this autonomy. So for us, it doesn't matter what it is. It might just be someone that's homeless, or if it is guns on campus or whatever it may be. And we do work with some of these youth, and we do have a massive turnaround. I mean, in our first year, we did, I think it was 83% in major offenses dropped and 84% drop in minor offenses as well. So you think about stuff like, is it bringing on guns on campus to, hey, the kid pulled a fire alarm, or the kid got in a fight, or the kid was disruptive in class. So for us, there's nothing specific to just gun violence. It's anything from there to some of the lower tiers of how they behave and comport themselves.
I understand that. I think my question is just it is a little bit separate from this specific program. It's just in general, where are the statistics at on that right now?
Yeah. Dr. Blakey, do you want to hit on it?
I don't know about speaking to the city as far as less guns. I can say as far as the school district, we have seen a decrease in guns on campus, and we do attribute it to a lot of different factors, but this is an example of something that we're able to do to prevent those kinds of things. So our drop that we've had in finding any weapons on campus, we do see is a direct impact of these kinds of partnerships, where we have seen this kind of prevention is really attributing to how our campuses have become safer.
Do you have a rough estimate of that decrease?
I-
If you reach out to me, I
Yeah.
can get those statistics.
Yeah, I don't want to give the right.
Exactly.
Yeah, we do have the exact numbers.
Any other questions? Did you hit on the drop-in services? No. The schools? Do you want to do that right away? Yeah. So besides these 11 schools, we do offer even some more supplemental services to
Oh, you were halfway. You could have kept going.
No, that's all you.
So we are going full-time into 11 schools. That means we'll have 2 intervention specialists at each of those schools that we've identified. But we also accept referrals from our community partners, APS, those who are not in these 11 schools. We still provide drop-in services, and we are at 30-plus campuses right now.
All right, well, that's good. We should give, this is Jorge's probably last event. He's
Yeah.
heading on to some other stuff, so just round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. Media, I appreciate you. Thank you all so much.